Hey guys, I thought I'd just make one big video, with everyone's questions, because I still get a couple questions every now and then, so I thought, I'd just make a thing. Anywho, so I'm just gonna start with why and how I got started in the surrogacy thing. So I have two kids, if you don't know, 4 and 2 years old. Both of their pregnancies were super easy. I didn't have morning sickness. Some people just have terrible pregnancies, and mine were so easygoing. No morning sickness. I had some food aversions, certain things just didn't sound good. If you know me, you know I'm just a small person. I have been my entire life. It's just genetics, I guess. I don't know. So I didn't gain a whole lot of weight. I didn't get a whole lot of stretch marks. Just they were easy. So I was like, I have easy pregnancies. Being pregnant's not bad for me. So I just was I just want I'm a very empathetic. Clearly words are not my strong suit. I just want to make everyone happy and help everyone out. And if you've ever had kids yourself, you the moment they're born, you just get that rush of hormones, but joy, and you're just overwhelmed by how can something so tiny bring you so much joy and fulfillment, right? And I want everybody who wants kids, I just want everyone to feel that, because it's the best feeling ever. So that's my number one reason why I wanted to be a surrogate, is to give somebody kids and enjoyment. Some people say for the money, because you do get paid. If you go through an agency and you do a compensated surrogacy, there's a whole spectrum of, anyhow, tangent, not getting on that. So people are like, oh, I just do it for the money. And I kind of think yeah, money's good, but I just making people happy. So that's why I wanted to be a surrogate. I started with doing a lot of research, just Googling. There's a lot of Facebook groups out there that you can join for surrogacy. You can search the Facebook groups for all sorts of questions, what entails being a surrogate, I just did all my research, and I just felt like it was placed on my heart that this is what I really needed to do. I just was being pushed, you need to do this. This is something you need to do. So I searched and did my research on different agencies, and I am under one agency. I'm not going to share my agency. I won't share the intended parents. I'm not going to share anything personal or anything like that, just the generics of surrogacy. A lot of people ask, do I use my own egg? For the surrogacy I'm going through, no. I'm a gestational carrier. The intended parents, there are male, female. They went through a cycle, collected eggs, and made their own embryos with a lab. So they already had their embryos made. If you go with a same-sex marriage, sometimes they will either use your eggs, or they will get a donor egg and create their own embryos and then just implant it into your uterus. They could either do an IUI, where they use your eggs and do what's it called? IUI stands for something, and I can never remember, and I always look it up, but I can never remember what it stands for. Basically, they use your egg and get you pregnant with either donor sperm or their sperm. But for me, I used an embryo that they had created, so it's not genetically related to me in any way, shape, or form. It's not my baby. I cannot legally own this baby because it's not related to me anyway. The transfer. So They want to track your cycle, and once you have a period, then they start tracking, and then they have a list of like things, and then you start medication on a certain point. You start like estrogen. They're trying to get your uterus to get a really thick lining. So when they do the transfer, the embryo has a nice cushiony uterus to take home. So you start on these medications. You do estrogen. I have patches. You can do shots, or I think you can do pills. And then about a week prior to your transfer, you start progesterone, and I did shots, and you just give them in your bouquet. They're not that bad. So you do a shot every day, and then transfer, you have to go to like the fertility clinic or whatever. You take a Valium so you're nice and calm and relaxed. You're not worried about anything. And then they stick this catheter into your cervix, up into your uterus. And it's really cool because you can kind of see it on the ultrasound machine. And then at the very tip, they insert the thing, and at the very tip, there's like the little embryo. And you could see it on like the ultrasound. It's like this little dot when they insert it, and it just floats into your uterus. And then you have to be on bed rest for a couple days. Modified bed rest. You can walk, you can shower, you can go to the bathroom, you can do your normal daily things. You cannot be like super active. You can't pick up your kids, you can't pick up heavy items. Like I was told I couldn't even pick up anything heavier than a half gallon of milk. So you just sit around and be a bum all day for 2 days, and then you just kind of take it easy for the next 3 to 4 days. Just so the little embryo has time to implant on your uterus. No stress, nothing crazy. They just want to make this as easy and successful as possible. So that's why they just put on your bed rest. It's called modified bed rest. Nothing crazy. After the transfer, you have to continue your medications, which is your estrogen, progesterone. So I still have patches of estrogen. I have to take a shot of progesterone every 2 or 3 days. And then you have, it kind of depends on the clinic. Some clinics will have you do gel progesterone vaginally, and then a tablet of estrogen vaginally too. Like it kind of just depends on the clinic and stuff. And then you stay with that clinic until I think you're like 10 weeks. I have to go in 10 days after my transfer to get a blood test to see my beta levels of HCG. And then 2 days it's like 13, 15, 17, I think. So every 2 days we'll get levels, and if they're rising, then confirmed pregnancy. If they're not, then we have to do another cycle. It's a whole thing. And then you stay with your clinic until your fertility clinic until 10 weeks, I think. And then you graduate and then you just see a regular OBGYN or midwife like you would with any regular pregnancy. I got asked if I personally think it would be hard to give up the baby. Right now, just thinking about it, I don't think I will have a hard time giving them the baby, because I mentally know it's not mine, and I'm doing this for them to give them a baby. So no, I don't think it's gonna be hard to give the baby up to them. This is the whole point, is to give them a baby, and I'm gonna give it to them, and I'm gonna come home to my 2 kids and no baby, because I'm done having my own babies. 2 is enough for me. It asked what my husband thinks about it. At first he was a little off-put, because he didn't know a whole lot about it. So once I talked to him about it, and we talked to the agency that we're going through, he asked all sorts of questions. He thinks about everything, and he asked all the questions. So he got asked all the questions, he got all his answers, reassured nothing bad happens, really. It's extremely rare for anything extremely bad to happen. And I was on board. You ask him, why did he let me? I mean, I could do what I want. Go with surrogacy, what his reason for surrogacy, he will say the money. compensation, it kind of depends on what agency, where you live, that kind of thing. It can be 35,000 to like 40,000, really. Like, there's a huge spectrum, so I'm not gonna say how much I want to make. Don't really need to, but depend. Also, if you do, the more surrogacies you do, I think you get paid more because repeat customer, I guess. I don't know. So if you guys have any more questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm an open book for most things. Like I said, I'm not gonna share anything personal. I'm not gonna share who my intended parents are. I'm not gonna share any personal information or anything. Stay cool.